This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good morning, Martine Ellis. How are you doing on this wonderful, beautiful morning?
It is a wonderful, beautiful morning. Certainly is here in Guernsey, at any rate. It's really nice to be here. Lovely to meet you. I'm doing very well.
Well, definitely. It is a pleasure to connect with you. So, Guernsey. So, you're an islander, are you?
I am an islander, and I have been all my life. Yeah. So, if any of your listeners don't know where Guernsey is, we're in the Channel Islands, which is kind of midway between the UK and France. We're in the Channel there.
Is it colder there, like other than the usual cold temperature that you guys get around now?
I find it cold, but then I feel the cold. So we're usually a few degrees warmer than the UK because we're that little bit closer to France. But it's kind of British temperatures, really.
All right. And do tell us which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at a specific time in history.
I'm going to say teaching. And the reason I say that is because I have a teaching podcast, which I understand you've had a listen to. So I guess teaching / podcasting.
I have. And it was excellent. Guess which part I love best?
I'm not sure. There are only short episodes.
There we go. Ping.
So you like that bit?
Yes, I do.
You like the short...
Yeah.
The size of the episodes.
Yeah.
Well, my people that I podcast for are busy teachers and trainers predominantly, and they don't have a lot of time to listen to long episodes. So yeah, mine are about 10 minutes long, which sort of fits in with what we're doing here today, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Well, what I did notice as well is that as a teacher, you need to be able to take information and present it in a format that is, if you would, attractive to the listener.
Yes, exactly that. So hence the short and sweet approach to the podcast.
Who did you learn that skill from, that ability to summarize information, if you would?
I think really there's two parts to that. The good teachers I've experienced throughout my life, certainly in my early years, had a major influence on me. But I'd also say I have quite a short attention span, so I like things to be short, sweet, and straight to the point. So when I'm preparing information, I do it as if I was my customer, as if I was listening to myself.
Well, that's great. And it was fun. I immediately left my review. I think those that listen as well, definitely do that, right? Like, listen, leave your review. That helps other people connect with it. Why will you continue to be that person that presents information in a concise manner?
Well, thank you for leaving a review, first of all. I really appreciate that. I continue to do the podcast because I know there are other people out there who I can help. So I want to continue doing that. As long as there are people who want to listen, as long as there are people who I can help, I'm going to keep doing it.
All right. Well, tell me then, you can definitely say something else. It doesn't have to be along your career, but what's one other thing you've done consistently over the last 3 years?
I've been thinking a lot about this question, and I think the answer, other than teaching, is going to be writing. Even though I haven't necessarily written every day, I have consistently written something the vast majority of the time. So the practice of writing.
How does it make you feel when you're writing?
Focused. I think whether it's journaling or writing an article or writing a podcast outline or a session plan, writing is an act of focus for me.
Now, there's a book that you wrote that I did see on your website. Tell us more about it, please.
Oh, thank you. So I've just recently published my first book, which is The Productive Teacher, and it kind of does what it says on the tin. It is for teachers and trainers who want to be more productive. And like the podcast, it's deliberately short. It's a quick read. And it was my regular, consistent practice of writing that enabled me to create that book.
Why would you suggest other people do that, specifically consistently write?
I think it's a good way to clear your mind, get focused and be more productive. And if you ever have wanted to write a book, it's a great way to do that, because the way you write a book is to write consistently and ideally write daily.
Amazing audience, again, you're hearing it live here from Martine Ellis. Martine, let's switch gears for a moment. Let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Martine, what is your earliest childhood memory?
I think I had to think long and hard about this. I think it was a school memory, as I'm sure for many people it would be. And I can remember painting in an art class. I must have been about 4, and I was painting probably a tree. And I remember painting the sky at the very top of the picture. Do you remember when we were children, we used to kind of just paint the sky as a blue strip at the top?
Yeah.
And an art teacher said to me, or my teacher at the time said, well, why don't you paint the sky already going behind the tree? And I was like, wow, that's amazing. That is a weird memory, right?
I think it's intriguing. Why do you think this particular memory is so clear?
I think it was just, it was my first memory of learning. Learning that what I did wasn't necessarily the right way. There's a better way, and that's a really cool thing, you know? So maybe, if we're going really deep into it, maybe that's why I ended up being a teacher. It was all because of that painting.
Yeah. It's intriguing how these memories connect, don't they? You are a teacher today. Can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind?
Yes.
Definitely the word that I'm thinking about isn't coming to my mind.
That's okay. Don't worry.
And it's okay. So I'll talk about it. It speaks to changing the view and how effective that is. And of course, you're doing it as a teacher. But I think it's so important to be able to change your views, and in so doing, help others learn as well. So you didn't only allow your view to be changed, but I think you were actually empowered by helping others change their views as well. And that's not necessarily changing their mind on something, but just having them change gently their view and then deciding where they go forward. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah, I like that.
If we fast forwarded to when you were 12 years old, what was your favorite song?
Well, I don't want to give anything away about my age, so I won't tell you which year this was, but it would be, and it depends where your listeners are from, so some people might not know this tune, but it would have been Black Velvet by Alana Miles, which is a really kind of rocky tune, and I've been known to sing it at karaoke. There's a little secret about me. I'm quite partial to karaoke.
That's super cool. Now, one of the things we've noticed is the lyrics of a song sometimes line up with the type of life you live or you've experienced. Have you seen that, like in the lyrics of that song? Does it align with who you are?
Definitely not. No, it's probably completely the opposite to who I am. But it's got a really kind of rocky tune to it. And I think at 12 years old, I was probably aspiring to kind of be a bit of a rock chick. So maybe that's what it was.
That's cool. I'll definitely give it a listen. That sounds really great. All right, my friend. Well, we've arrived at our destination. But before we get off of this time machine, there is a small declaration form. So it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready, Martine?
I'm ready. I'm standing by.
There we go. Martine, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Yes, my teachers every day. My trainee teachers.
Are you married?
Yes.
Do you have children?
To my husband. No children, but 2 cats and 1 dog.
They definitely count, don't they? Do you believe in God?
Pass.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Yes, I love them very much.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
Sometimes.
All right. And what about screen time? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
Oh, less.
Martine?
But there's still area for improvement there.
Oh, really? You know, it's really intriguing to me how we sometimes take TV from a guilty perspective. Do you use it like to definitely relax, to like just relax sometimes? Or
exactly that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's exactly what it's for. Chilling out, relaxing, unwinding from the day. All
right. If you had to share with us your own unique, real statement, a statement that represents who Martine Ellis is, what would you say that is?
That's such a great question. I've actually set a mantra for this year to focus on what I want to achieve this year. And mine is, I'm happy, I'm healthy, I am enough. So I'm doing some real work on self-care this year. So that's my mantra.
Love it. Well, Martine, this was a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
If I can, I'd love to share my website address. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Wonderful. If anyone wants to find out anything about me, they can hop over to theteachingspace.com, and that's where they can find information about my podcast and my book and other teaching and training related stuff.
Martine Ellis, again, I love the podcast. Thank you, my friend, for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
My pleasure.
This segment has been brought to you by Amazel Enterprise.